Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're not range testing or charging, instead we'll be installing some kit which will make the usability of my MG4 that all a bit easier and more exciting. Now I use Apple CarPlay on a daily basis for Spotify, maps, receiving important notifications which I can't read while I'm driving. Since taking ownership of my MG4, I have suffered from poor connectivity between my phone and the car, and I've been through countless data cables, not to mention the time fiddling around, swapping, rerouting and testing cables. I also have gone through a number of social media posts from people with the same issue, so I'm glad to see I'm not on my own. Today I'm going to solve this by installing one of these, wireless CarPlay. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to onecarstereo.com for sending this device to review on the channel. Now, as you can see from the box, this is a very small, compact unit. We've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, navigation and music. But let's get inside and see what we're playing with here. This Android device runs a 450 Qualcomm CPU, 8 octa-core and 1.8 GHz CPU. So it's a relatively powerful little box and is compatible with built-in wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So first of all, we've got the user manual, which is on the top. We'll be using that in a minute. And then we've got the unit itself here, which is tiny. So let's get it out of the box. Now that's the unit itself, with a protective film on it, and then underneath we've got two power cables which are also data cables as well. One which is USB A to C and one which is USB C to C. Right, so let's open it up. Let's take this film off. So let's go with the top bit first. And we'll turn it over and do the reverse. So there we've got the holes in the top here for the heat to escape. We've got power light and operational lights on the front. And then we've got sockets on the back here. We have an expandable slot here for storage, USB-C power, and finally a slot for a data SIM. So this unit is 3 inches wide, 3/4 inches in depth. Just to give you an idea of how big it is, I'm going to pop it there for a minute. So this is a can of pop, standard mouse you get from Amazon, Apple AirPods, a bank card. I think you get the picture. This device is tiny. Not to mention the weight, at 85 grams, I mean, that's nothing. Anyway, let's head over to the car, let's get this installed, and let's see what we got and what we're playing with. So hey guys, you join me now in the MG4. We're going to install the Apple CarPlay Android Auto wireless receiver, which is here. Now we had a little look at this just before in more detail and measured the size, weighed it, that kind of thing. But now we're going to actually install it. So the first thing to do is to get it back out of the box, get it plugged in, and then get it synced with my phone and obviously the car. So let's get the device out of the box. We're going to slide the sleeve off, take the lid off. There we have the user manual, that will come in handy in a minute. Then we have the device itself, which is here, that will also come in handy. And then we've also got the power cables here. Now before we plug it in, we'll check with the manual. Now the manual is obviously so thick, but the English bit is only a few pages, 3 and 4 and lastly 5, but the last one's more about SIM cards and warranty. Now the actual device is an Android system, but it will run for CarPlay and of course Android Auto. So let's plug that into the device, and then the other bit will be plugged in underneath here. On the front of the device we're showing the power symbol, which is flashing, and on the front screen of the car we can see the device has loaded up. So just going through the instructions, the device will support iPhone 6 and above, iOS 10 and above. Android phone support Android 10 and above. So there we've got intelligent interconnection system, Android. For your safety, do not operate the system while the vehicle is in motion. Please drive your car accordingly to safe traffic regulations. Do not watch video while the vehicle is driving. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is connect the device to my phone, which is really well laid out in the instructions. So we're going to do that next. So let's get my phone up. So the first step is to click Auto Kit on the screen. So here we have Auto Kit here, so we're going to hit that. The next thing to do is to turn Bluetooth on my phone, which I've just done here. And we can see here Auto Kit Toolbox, so we're going to check that one. And we've got a pairing number there. So we're going to click Pair, allow contacts and favourites to sync, yes. So that's syncing there. Now it's still waiting on screen. There we go, we've got a connection between the device and my phone. And there's another prompt on my phone to enable activate CarPlay, which I have done. And we've got my phone appearing in the corner, and there we go. So this is the same screen I'd see if my phone was plugged into the vehicle. Now the difference this time is obviously my phone is not plugged in. The device is plugged in here instead. And that's obviously working from my phone remotely. But we've got all the usual things here. We've got Spotify, the car setup settings, all the usual things I've been used to before. Different charging networks, social media apps, Waze, ZapMap. So if you go to the Play Store, you can download additional apps to the kit. So there you go, that's working now. So that has loaded. Click Go. So CarPlay is working very, very well. So it's later in the evening now, it's dark as you can see. Right, we're going to go in the car and test the wireless CarPlay. So I've got my phone here. I've put that on the ledge. So let's put the light on. So the screen is illuminated. The device is down here. It's still plugged in. It's just resting there in the cup holders. Screen's coming on. CarPlay was highlighted then. It's gone straight into the default mode, which is the native operating system on the actual device itself. So if we want to go to CarPlay, we just hit Auto Kit. Here's the Play Store where you can download apps. Obviously we've got some pre-installed already. We've got YouTube, Spotify, Waze, Netflix, Google Internet as well. Plus some games. And then obviously got your contacts. And you can obviously make phone calls as well. This icon, which is your home button, that takes you back to your MG native screen. And then hitting CarPlay will take you back here again. Now if you want to use CarPlay in its native form, we just hit Auto Kit and we return there. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay on this screen. The reason we're going to stay on this screen is because although CarPlay is very, very, very good at what it does, I'm interested to see what we can do on this screen. Okay, so we've got the native software running on the device at the moment, and we've got access to all of these different apps. So this isn't CarPlay, this isn't Android Auto, this is the local native software which is installed on the device. So what I've worked out so far through logging into a few apps is Spotify's working perfectly fine. You've got access to all playlists, all my podcasts, things like that. If we go back to the home screen, Netflix also works. We've got all the movies, etc. I've tested it, they all work fine, which is great. App I do seem to have a problem with is YouTube, and it's asking me to update the app to a newer version. Now, I did do this with Netflix, but I was still able to use it without updating it. But the problem is it does say in the user manual here, if you look at the second question, the Netflix display needs to be updated. Answer: when it appears that it needs to be updated, please click the cancel button. Don't update or delete the software preloaded on the product. Anyhow, so we could probably use YouTube through the browser instead. Yeah, that works fine. There we go there. So if I was to click on one of my videos. In today's video, so YouTube works fine through the web browser, but not on the native app. And as soon as you click to open app, open the app, YouTube, just once. Yeah, get the same message again there. Apart from YouTube through the app, everything else works okay. So we've just jumped in the car, it's all active now. You can see the system has started up on the binnacle, and the startup screen is initiated on the center display infotainment screen. So the device is connected, we can see it here, and we're just waiting for it to connect to CarPlay on the screen. So we've got the native MG screen here. Now we're connecting to the device, and now it's automatically loading up CarPlay, and it's done that because if you go into the settings here, we've activated wireless auto connect, and you can see straight away it's connected to my phone, and now we have the CarPlay screen. And as you can see from here, it's really snappy. Let's go to all the apps. All the apps work absolutely fine, including things like Spotify, WhatsApp, Waze, navigational apps. Even the charging apps work absolutely fine as well. Let's click on maps and let's put an address in there. Let's see, Heathrow Airport, there we go. There we go. One of the problems you get when you're connecting through wireless devices, you do get delay or your latency, as you call it. And the one thing I've noticed from this is there's absolutely no delay. It's absolutely instant. And that's really pleasing to know, because you don't want to be a second behind when you're using a satnav. So let's click go on there. So it's very, very accurate. And it works also the same in Google Maps as well. We'll go search, and let's have a look. We will search for, let's go for my nearest MG dealership. MG Bayless. There we go. Bang, straight away. Let's start the route. See, nice and snappy, works just a treat. This is CarPlay. What's behind CarPlay? So behind CarPlay is an Android operating system. And we can actually go back to that system, as you saw in the beginning of the video. And to do that, what we can do is move our finger from the left to the right here. And you can see the floating dock. It's disappeared now. We're going to bring it back out. And we're going to hit the tiles. And that takes us to the Android screen. And on the Android screen, we've got all kinds of things. We've got the internet if you want to surf the browser like Chrome. We've also got YouTube, Spotify, Netflix. So if you are charging or you're in a spot where you're going to be waiting for a little while, then you can crack open Netflix. Now, if you are in the native Android operating system like we are here, if you want to return to the CarPlay or Android Auto, you just click on Auto Kit and that takes you back to CarPlay. So it works really effortlessly well. Now I've mastered how to connect straight into CarPlay as soon as the car is switched on. That's a big help. So here's a quick demonstration of Spotify in the car, and as you can see, it works effortlessly well. Having spent a few days now with wireless CarPlay, I'm absolutely loving it. It's so convenient and it's working really, really well. But now it's time to jump back in the car again, because we need to make this a more permanent feature and be able to fit it into the car in the right place. And we're going to finish the last bit of the installation of the Apple CarPlay. Now we're just waiting for the car to connect to my phone. Now my phone is actually in my pocket there. See, we've already linking to CarPlay already. So nice and quick. We just jumped straight in the car. Now we've just unlocked it and jumped straight in. And there we are. We are got Waze running, ready in the background. We haven't got any Spotify playing at the moment, but there we go. So then we're going to jump down underneath here. And currently we got the device just in the cup holder. But we want something a little bit more secure and more final. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach it underneath the floating dock here. And what we're going to do is use some of these Velcro straps. They're also the same color as the plastics. They should blend in nicely and be out of sight. They come off very easily, but they're very, very secure once they're on. So let's get those installed. And then we've got our first strip here. Now we're going to install this fairly close to the back here. There we go. And then the second piece we're going to install on the back of the unit. We're not going to put it on the top because we need these breather holes for the device to radiate the heat from the processor. So here comes the second strip. And as you can see, it's Velcro on the one side and we've got an adhesive on the other side. And this is going to sit this way. That way the cable's out at the side, but it's accessible if we need to disconnect it. So we're going to put the second strip here, and then that's going to leave a little tab here in case we need to peel it off. There we go, and that's not going to go anywhere. Now we do have this bit of cable here. Now we can reroute that if we need to, but I'd prefer to keep that free just for the time being. It's not in the way at all. It's not really visible, and because it's the same colour as the plastic and fascia, that's not going to go amiss, but we could reroute it around the back of the unit if we wanted to. And then we're left with plenty of space down here to put drinks into the drink holders if we need to. And there we go. So CarPlay, or wireless CarPlay, is successfully installed. It's working perfectly on the car. So now we've thoroughly tested the wireless device, what are the pros and cons? Well, let's start with the cons first. There's two very, very small issues with the device. Now this one isn't significant at all, and it only happens now and again when you're using the wireless CarPlay, and sometimes when the device is connecting automatically, we get this little pop-up which says we failed to connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot. Now because the Android unit can functionalize with a Wi-Fi hotspot on it, because you can add a data plan to the device, it obviously has naturally a Wi-Fi hotspot which you can enable, and for whatever reason it just pops up now again to remind you that it has one. It's very easy to take care of. You just hit the confirm button and then you're ready to go again. I have played around with the settings and I can find some functionality around the hotspot, but when I've checked all the buttons to switch it off, I still do get the pop-up. But I have notified the developer and they are looking into it. And lastly, the second issue I found, and again this doesn't happen very often, but now and again it does, and that is that the device just freezes up and the screen becomes unresponsive. Now this can happen in the native MG software as well, so it could be actually the MG software which is freezing up, but for whatever reason it does freeze up, and the only way to deal with it is to unplug and plug in the device again, and that seems to sort it out. It reconnects straight away and it continues where it left off. And so we have the pros, and I think this is where the device really excels. If anyone is used to wireless CarPlay and you're frustrated with using cables, then it makes it really difficult to not use this kit. It is an absolute dream to use. Like I said, I can use it with my phone in my pocket. I don't even have to think about taking it out anymore. And of course all the native apps work extremely well with very little latency issues, if any at all, and it's just incredibly convenient to use. And because of its size and its weight, it's very easy to store away without any issues of it taking up space. And finally, the ace up the sleeve is obviously the Android operating system behind it, with the opportunity to use multimedia functions like Netflix and a fully functional web browser. You can pretty much do anything from the car. Again, I want to say a big thank you to onecarstereo.com for sending me the device to review, and if you want to get your hands on one, you can head over to their website now and use my referral link in the description. You can get yourself 10% off with free worldwide shipping. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the content on the channel, please give me a like, and if you're not already subscribed, please drop me a sub. That would mean the world. And I shall see you in the next one.